Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's this time of the week that we like to say,
Welcome to Eejits of the World!
With you,
Glenn Wall, and you,
Andrew Maxwell. And what a cornucopia of strangeness we have for you this week. We have the Eejits of American politics.
We have the Eejits of Canadian sport.
And finally, we have the Eejits of dirty old Mother Nature. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the start?
Yes, I am.
What a story. Oh my God, I can only imagine how crazy you'd feel like if you'd just woken up from a coma to read this. But this is a genuine headline in the world we live in, 2024. Right. Donald Trump surviving an assassination attempt has caused Tenacious D to split up.
Now I think I'm in a coma.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So, like, the whole world knows that Donald Trump, somebody tried to assassinate him at a rally in Pennsylvania.
What?
On the weekend.
I'm sorry. What?
All right, he is. It turns out it's true. He has been in a coma. But the second half is just crazy. Amongst all the other fallouts from that Donald Trump might go on to win the election in November.
Yeah, but the important part first. Tenacious D.
Tenacious D. For those who don't know, that's the movie star Jack Black's side project band.
Never heard of him.
Please, you look like the third member.
No.
You should be playing a tambourine in the background. Anyway, today, so Tenacious D were on stage on the weekend in Sydney.
Okay.
It's the older guy, Kyle Gass's 64th birthday. Jack Black comes out on stage. No, he doesn't. A robot comes out on stage with a giant birthday cake for Kyle Gass.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. Everybody sings him happy birthday, right? And then he's Jack Black goes, and what's your birthday wish? To which Kyle Gass said, don't miss Trump next time, and blew out the candles. And it got a laugh from the crowd. And the next day, Jack Black dissolved the band. Cancelled the world tour. They were halfway through world tour. He shit-canned the whole thing.
Maybe
he went, look, I don't find political violence funny. And that's the end of it.
Or is it because he actually said the wish out loud, so it's not going to come true?
Well, maybe.
How into voodoo is Black?
I don't know, but the band's over. I can imagine it's more of a loss for the guy who isn't the movie star.
I would say, too, like, out of the two that are replaceable, I think you could probably just have, like, another Kyle.
I think Kyle could just be the sidekick.
You could, yeah. Where are we gonna find another fat bald guy that needs some work?
Oh well, now that Donald Trump has replaced his sidekick, maybe Mike Pence has a new career, being Jack Black's sidekick.
But he still makes him perform under the moniker Kyle. I'm sorry, Mike, but I don't want to change any of the songs.
So, a lot of things rhyme with Kyle. Pile, smile.
Yeah. It's funny that you don't fit in the costumes. Come on, get on the stage. Come on, Pence.
Come on, Mike Pence, former governor of Indiana. Get in that costume one more time, son. Yeah. Here's a 50 fret guitar that you're meant to play in the background. Oh man.
There must have been other things going on. He must not have been enjoying the tour.
Yeah, I mean, they were playing big venues, so it looked pretty full.
Full venues?
I don't know. I mean, he found it funny, because I've watched the video. He laughed at the time.
Wow.
But he's since said in a press release that he felt blindsided and that he didn't support political violence.
Yeah. Well,
It
I mean, I
feels-
think we're all in that same boat, but it's a Tenacious D concert. I think it's understood that there's a little, there's scope for humor there. I think.
Yeah, he wasn't in the middle of the Nobel Prize giving ceremony. The Grand Duke of Oslo didn't stand up and go, well, maybe get him next time.
Yeah,
But still, like,
you see, I can understand. I can understand Jack Black's point of view here, but here's the thing that about the assassination attempt, and I'm on Jack Black's side here. I don't think they should have tried to shoot him, and I'm happy that person didn't hit him. It's just not the way we do business. But there was a point where the Secret Service allowed him to rise to his feet and get back to the lectern and yell, "We fight! We fight!" And everybody was saying that was a real dereliction of duty by the Secret Service. But I'm here to say that no, because that had the opportunity to have the funniest thing ever to have happened. Because if he had broken through the ranks, where still an active shooter was in there, and in the middle of we fight, he took one right to the forehead. And just that was the last thing we ever heard from him. I don't condone political violence, but I think everyone would have laughed at that.
yeah, I mean, he I think we'll all agree whether you like him or hate him, Donald Trump cuts his own furrow, doesn't he? Anybody else who just survived an assassination attempt would, number one, not still be on the stage. But just wouldn't. Right? And number two, then wouldn't try to pick a fight. I mean, Nigel Farage, for those who don't know, Nigel Farage is the discount store Donald Trump of the UK.
Yeah.
And he said he was flying. Like, I must fly to America to be with my friend.
Oh, God, that's going to be uncomfortable at the door of the hospital. No, I'm on the list. I'm on.
I'll think you'll find there's nobody that can cheer up Big Don than me, Nigel Farage, famed for having one of the greatest bedside manners in the world of nursing. I've worn the nurse's uniform that you requested, Donald.
Yeah.
As you can see, I was in quite a hurry, so I had to get one from a joke store.
I bet you if you could get Nigel Farage's personal number, you could do like a passable Trump, you could get him to do a lot of things.
Pretty much anything. Yeah.
Anything.
Nigel, I know you've noticed, Nigel, but for some reason, nobody's blacking up like a minstrel anymore.
Luckily, Nigel already was blacked up when he took the call. Oh, this is...
I
thought I was going to have to wash my face.
Well, Luke Galule! What an incredible coincidence!
Sorry, boys. You're going to have to finish the number yourself. Nigel's needed in New York. Just straight onto the flight, too.
You know how long the Kemptown races is, boys. Sing the rest of the song yourself. He said, Nigel Farage said, this has all happened because the Democrats have made it such a violent atmosphere. Yeah. You could go, well, sure, like, it's very febrile American politics. Nobody in the right mind would take one look at modern American politics and not go, it is very edgy right now. But, like, yeah, the edge off that is slightly taken from the fact your mate started shaking his fist going, fight, fight, fight. Yeah. I just think when he did that, I just thought, God, he would have been amazing in primary school. I reckon Donald Trump would have, you know what I mean? It's like his whole life is basically Little Break. Do you know what I mean? Lots of snacks, a lot of aggro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of feuding, a lot of holding grudges.
Yeah.
You know?
He is very toddler-like.
He sure is, man.
He's toddler-shaped.
He is, yeah. I mean, I assume at this stage they're just put 4 nappies and just stapled them together like to form a mega nappy.
To answer the question whether or not it's right to pierce their ears.
Anyway, yeah, it's a whole thing is just astonishing. There was obviously, like, the reason why we're, you know, if nobody had got hurt, we would be going full throttle on this story a whole lot more. But the fact of the matter is, you know, a former president of the United States who's running for office did just survive an assassination attempt, and then some fireman behind him got killed.
Yeah.
So it is serious. It's just, there's just so much of, it's a full-on cult now. It is a full cult, and he can do no wrong. There is nothing Donald can do for his fan base is wrong. And to the point of, like, so the widow of the victim, the guy who was on, you know, was in the crowd, firefighter who got killed, his widow, she, Joe Biden called her to wish her condolences, and she refused.
Did he know what he was doing? I mean, just a pizza order came in. Joe, that's not okay.
What is this? It's so flat. Honestly, at this stage, I mean, the fact of the matter is, no matter where your politics, the reality is you need a high-powered rifle to kill Donald Trump. Whereas Joe, if you wanted to assassinate Joe Biden, all you'd have to do is just show up in the room 10 minutes beforehand and just rumple the carpet. Yeah. Just put a bit of rumple in the carpet and down he'd go.
He could hide his pills.
I don't think Joe is on pills, dude. I know this is pill related.
Oh, yeah. No, he'd be gone if he was doing his own pills.
Hey, where's all the sand at the bottom of things? You know, sand at the top. just a guy across the table, just death with a scythe going, read the room, Joseph.
Carlos the Jackal just getting the window open so he'll catch a draft. See, I think that's what they should do. They should take all of Joe's security and put it on Trump now, because the Republicans do not want Joe to die. They want him to hit right up to the. They don't care what happens after the election, but it's Operation Keep Him Alive. They'll weekend at Bernie's him around if they need to.
You better believe it. Like, they will 100%. Just Don and his new sidekick, JD Vance.
Yeah, why are they all hanging out with Biden that way? They're all
they really like him. I've never seen Joe Biden in a Hawaiian shirt before.
I think he's doing better in this debate than he was the other one. No, he
really swings his arms around now. He must be a hell of a guy. Look at those two bros. Can't get enough of them. Right.
Well,
whole everything. Just when it comes to this American election, every time you think, oh, they can't get any weirder than this. Like, weird assassination attempt. Joe going off to the NATO summit. Just like, this is your big chance to reset after the disastrous debate. And then he shows up and just, anyway, here's the president, my friend, the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, you could hear it, that, like, that's a NATO summit. And NATO is America's private organisation, and everybody just like, oh,
yeah.
Joe's
got eyes on Putin.
Anyway, I kind of liked, you know what, I never liked you, Vladimir, but it takes a lot of balls to show up at a NATO summit and stand there dressed up as his enemy and then beg for more weaponry. You got a lot of chutzpah. I give you that, Vladimir. You got a lot of chutzpah. It's time for ice cream, guys. It's time for ice cream.
Come on, man. It's ice cream time. Wow. I mean, it's been odd watching him become president, but I mean, but Trump, it's just been even weirder. And
she refused to take the president of the United States call because, and I quote, she said her husband, who had died, He was a devout Republican.
Ooh.
That is not good. When people start referring in religious terms for their political party.
How many other times had Biden called her in the last few years? Hello?
I just pick up the phone book and give it a go. Mr. President, you don't need to do it like this anymore. We have ads on the internet.
Oh, he's still amazed by the phone. You're telling me I can dial numbers and then there's people. Okay. Hello, operator. No, you don't have to.
I've won every single election I've ever been in. You know why? I got a bag of dimes. Get a bag of dimes. I go down the drugstore. I get myself a dope of soda. That's really good. They pour the soda old school way. Scoop of ice cream. Bag of dimes. Just start calling Americans.
Smooth Joe on the line.
Hey, no, it's Joe Biden here. I could try and get fucked. Don't know how to do it, no.
One thing at a time, Mr. Wilson. One thing at a time.
That's it. I just get a notebook.
I get down to the Zeds, then I'll go get fucked. Tell me that.
I seem to have got through to the Polish community. Zagrinsky, I could tell you a couple of Polak gags. You don't like Polak jokes? Strange. Okay, count your vote.
Yeah. Can you put somebody older on? Got like a grandma there. Put her on. She'll like this.
I got somebody on here who knows how to cut a rug. You like polka music? All right, anyway, that's it.
It is cult-like, and I don't know if you watched the Republican conference yesterday, but oh my God, it was like if the Catholic Church got into wrestling. It really had that sort of vibes, and then Trump showed up with the weirdest Band-Aid I've ever seen. It looked like an ounce of Coke. And I think what happened is either Don Jr., Barron, or the other one, somebody had it fall out of their pocket when they were on the couch and then got hustled off it because Dad needed a nap. And then they're searching for it the whole car ride. They're wondering where it is until Dad's into the arena. You're like, oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Luckily, it's just sticky here.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, his Secret Service code word's 8 ball anyway. So not a lot of confusion there.
Yeah. And then everybody who took the stage apparently had a dip of
there was
that ounce of Coke.
What a weird array of punters.
Yeah. Well, Amber Rose, I believe her name is.
That's right. Former lover of famously sane Kanye West.
And Wiz Khalifa.
Yes, I believe she is the mother of Wiz Khalifa's children.
Yes, and we know that because she's tattooed their names to her head. That's what she's got a head tattoo.
I noticed.
Those are her children's names, which is to me ridiculous. Like, you're almost there at a good idea. I could see if you put them on your children's heads because their kids are named Slash and Bash, so they have very similar names.
Slash and Bash.
Something like that.
Right.
Slash is one of them, and the other one rhymes. Yeah, so they sound like wrestlers from the 80s. Well, why would you tattoo their names to your head? You'd be, I'm from a family where every name begins with G. And my poor mother, all the way growing up, once she didn't realize what she'd done until it came time to admonish one of us. And then it was, Gary, Greg, Glenn, whichever one you want, get over here right now. Get in here. Yeah. So I can see her taking the opportunity to tattoo our names in bold print across our foreheads.
Yeah, it is. It's an odd thing. And if you wanted to remember your kids' names, why wouldn't you tattoo them on the back of your hand? Like
something.
Hey, guy, you're a hell of a kid.
Yeah. Bring me that mirror. I'm going to call you
Galubkla. What? You can't even use it in a mirror.
No. Yeah, then you have to take a picture of yourself in the mirror and then flip it around on your... Yeah. Suffice to say, as most head tattoos are, it was a bad idea.
Yeah, I struggle to take macroeconomic policy from somebody who's scrawled on their face.
It was like, oh, okay, America, she's gonna come in and tell the truth about everything. And a lot of the stuff too was it didn't seem like she knew Trump had been president at one point, because she was like, and I go to the gas station and I'm pissed off because everything's so expensive, and then I look at inflation and that just makes me angry as hell. And I'm like, well,
do you know how expensive head tattoos are now? When Donald Trump was the president of the United States, pretty much anybody could afford to scribble on their faces. But now, only the hoity-toity elite.
That's the old glory ripples behind her. And I envision a future where all our children have colored in their faces with weird paisley designs.
Every child in America can scroll on their head. It won't simply be the preserve of the Ivy League.
And there's Trump, he goes full iguana sometimes. When he sits, he gets an iguana head when he's really pleased. He's sort of like a Star Wars villain.
His frills.
Yeah.
His frills start to shimmer.
Like he's about to snap a fly out of mid-flight. And he was really like, if you were close to him, you could comfortably tickle his chin because he looks like he's looking for it. Like when a dog's like,
so many chins, more chins. Then Chinese phone book. It used to be a joke you could do. You're not allowed to talk about Chinese phone books in Biden's America. You know those guys still have phone books, right?
There we are. As we speak, he is having one of his chins surgically implanted into his ear.
Oh God! And so he's picked J.D. Vance to be his.
Oh my sweet lord! This guy is.
First thing you go right. Well, this guy is kind of extraordinary. You know, he's in his late 30s. He looks older than the two of us. He's from Ohio. He's a first term senator from Ohio. J.D. Vance became famous because he wrote a memoir of his hard scrabble working class life called Hillbilly Elegy. Ron Howard went on to make a movie of it. He was in the U.S. Marine Corps. Then he went to Yale. Then he was a tech investor in Silicon Valley. So the guy's done a lot, and you go, all right, well, this will be a relatively sane. No, everybody that's near Trump loses their cotton-picking mind, man, because J.D. Vance, as he gets the VP nod, nominee nod from Trump, first speech he makes, he declares that now that the Labour Party's won in Britain, it will be the first Islamicist country to be nuclear armed. The very words he said was, we were trying to work out which would be the first Islamicist country with a nuclear weapon. We thought Iran, maybe Pakistan, but we think it's going to be the UK. And do you know what it really reminded me of? You know that the world's most famous meme of the dude walking down the street with his girlfriend and him looking over the shoulder at another one? I really felt like Pakistan was the girlfriend going, I think you find that we got crooked Chinese nuclear physicists to make a nuclear bomb for us almost 20 years ago, guys.
Yeah, and this is like number 2. We're just a couple of rubes that we come down into this steamy shack every Monday and make one of the. Both of us knew about that, we don't get to be vice president.
yeah, exactly.
How dumb are they cooking them in America?
Real dumb.
Real dumb. Well, his beard, he was, because I think he grew a beard to look older.
Yeah.
But he has the same problems with it that, like, I would get with my beard when I first started growing it. Like, he doesn't know how to groom it properly. It's not the lines. He's trying to save money on like having a barber involved with it. You can tell.
Yeah, I would suggest also, now that you're the VP nomination for an extremely radicalised Republican Party, don't walk around the convention telling people you need help with grooming your beard. Oh, man alive. Well. You know what? Like I said, my thing is, what has sort of tempered us getting really stuck into this as comedians is because actual normal people have been murdered in this incident. Yeah. And in always they've been completely overshadowed. Donald got a nick to the ear, he gets all the attention. You know what I mean? Do you know what it reminds me of? Is when somebody reasonably famous dies and then somebody crazy famous dies on top. Did you know that Mother Teresa died on the same day as Diana?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nobody cared. I remember that news cycle because Mother Teresa, world famous humanitarian, dedicated her life to the poor in the slums of, I believe it was Calcutta, but it might be Mumbai. Dedicated her life to them, right?
Yeah.
Hours later, Diana dies in Paris, right? The news crew, the BBC news crew, is still there in India, in the slums that she had worked at her entire life, and people were already mourning Diana's death. Right? And the news crew was like, "How do you feel about her, the passing of this famous woman?" And they were like, "Yes, Diana was so beautiful." Like, that's so unfair. I mean, Mother Teresa, granted, if you looked at her, like, she was, she hadn't moisturised.
No.
But still, like,
she could have saved some of that charity money for some moisturizer. Nobody would have looked into that.
Just something like.
I remember, like, Britain was insane when Princess Diana died, because I know we had to do a gig in Oban that night, and they wanted to go ahead with it. So, like, me and Campbell and Stuart Francis, the lumberjacks of comedy, two other Canadian blokes, we were like, yeah, we'll do the gig if you still want us to. And we got up, and they insisted on a joke contest. So a Scottish guy,
a bad sign.
Yeah, a Scottish guy gets up from the crowd, and apparently Oban is where Diana's mother lived. And was still alive at the time. Right,
yeah. I can kind of see that, yeah.
And he got up and he did like one of the jokes that was circulated. I can't quite remember what it was, but the place just went extra quiet. It, like you could hear like the buzzing.
Negative quiet.
Yeah, like, sometimes they have those taps at the bar that have lights on, like, like you could hear the light off the Carling export sign. Just sort of that little hum of, like that, and then really he tried to get off the stage, but his steps were like amplifying, like it was a ghost coming, like, and on Friday the 13th, every second year in the full moon, the steps, you can hear the steps, and it's just click, 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 and then we
it's
were
making
like,
me sweat just thinking about it.
Yeah. So I think it was Campbell was emceeing, and he was like, "Okay, does anybody else have a joke they want to tell?" And it just was, again, like negative quiet. And he was like, "Okay, well, we'll just have a break now." And there was a longer than normal break. And there'd been like a hubbub through the crowd. And discussions were breaking out, like, as to what to do about this. And when the second section started, the offender had to get up and apologize to the crowd.
Wow. Jeez Louise.
And then leave. He had to apologize and go home and think about what he'd done.
I'll just return to my croft and slowly die. I would appreciate it, Angus, if you could. Just that long walk back through the country lanes. The only thing he could hear was just the throb of his pulse coming from his wrist. Wow. Wow. Well, there you go. Well, once again, viva democracy. Yes. Let's hope it holds.
Stop shooting each other.
Well, Mr. Glenn, do you have a story for me?
I do, and this came from Vancouver, of all places. I heard about it when I was back in Canada a few weeks ago. And it has to do with football, or as we call it, soccer ball. The Vancouver Whitecaps play in the MLS.
I see.
They play in a place called BC Place Stadium. And the Florida team, or the Miami team, that has Messi in it.
The world's greatest player.
The best ever.
The GOAT.
They were coming to town.
Right.
So, and Vancouver's always had trouble selling tickets, but because BC Place is like a 60,000 seat arena.
Wow.
So they just
is football soccer that big?
No, what they do is they put drapes over the top tier,
right, and then ice the pitch. Give everybody skates and a stick.
Trick people in. We're gonna have some ball hockey.
Soccer and ice, guys.
Iceless ball hockey, we call it.
Wow.
Yeah, so they have sold out before, but it's always been the lower things, and it's always been like, you go there and you're like, every ticket's sold. It's like, not like if you unfurled any of those drapes, we could just fit like twice the amount of people in here. But so Messi's coming to town. They've unfurled all the drapes. They've sold out 60,000 rabid football fans. Everybody wants to see. I mean, this is 2 years after he'd won it all. He was a star player on the World Cup winning Argentina team. You're never going to see somebody like that in your life. This is a big event. You got to go. You got to tell the kids. Messi did not play. He took it, and the thing is, they often know these guys aren't going to play because the BC Place Stadium does not have natural grass, and these guys are finely tuned athletes, and it's basically like running around with on concrete with a carpet on it, and they just don't want to play. The pitch is bad,
right?
But they didn't tell anybody that. They sold out every seat. So it's like, well, what are we going to do? We gotta give these people something. Well, what's just as good as watching the best ever? A hot dog. They gave everyone a free hot dog.
All right, you were hoping to see a living legend, but how about a hot dog?
Wow. Was Slimer when he was alive? Is that who came up with the idea? You know what's better than that? It was hot dogs.
Great. Okay. He said we've talked to him back there. He says their pitch is crap, and Messi's not willing to play, but everybody gets a hot dog, and he's also willing to wear the hot dog costume. Great. Just Messi. Your pitch is shit.
Yeah, I find this preferable, and I'm the best ever, and I would still degrade myself to this extent.
So much happier to be a hot dog than play football on your, a prison pitch.
Yeah, I mean, how much did the guy who came up with how much did he enjoy the last hot dog that he had? That he was like, all right.
Just sitting back so satisfied. Everybody else in the boardroom panicking in the administrative level of the BC Whitecaps. Here's Gordo Sinclair. Okay. Guys, everybody stand down. Has anybody thought just how much people appreciate a $3 hot dog?
Yeah, coming in on the ferry from Nanaimo today, I managed to visit the cafeteria, and my fucking God, did I ever have one wonderful hot dog. And you can look at my tie right now and you say to yourself, is that a mustard stain? And I say, yes, it is.
It sure is, because
And I lick it sometimes just to remember that hot dog.
I
remember licking it going, did I just win the World Cup?
Right?
I must have, because I feel that way.
Am I a living legend? Because I just scuffed that thing. It was like being kissed in the mouth by an angel.
Yeah. Or it was like sniffing Wayne Gretzky's hair.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Just like that. Or Jesus Christ. One
Or
of the two.
sniffing Jesus.
Sniffing Wayne Gretzky's hair or shaking Jesus by the hand and sticking your finger through his little hole. And you got to make the sound too.
So what
Oh, sorry, I thought you were a Freemason. I was trying to do the little hand, and I ended up giving Christ the old woo.
I was trying to get a bit of a property deal over the line.
Yeah. I'd got caught drunk driving by Christ, and he's getting me out of the car, and I tried to give him the old flippity, hey, where you? We've all got
the old flippity. Hey, Jesus, any chance you could be cool with this thing? Or
Come on,
man, we gotta see the Whitecaps. Fucking.
Could you turn the wine in my blood into water? Come on, tricky dick. let's see how many other wine-based tricks you can do.
Yeah, we showed up, full paid, full price. Buddy wouldn't play. Hey, we're about to tear the fucking stadium apart.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it'll be just like when Guns N' Roses came. They did. They had a riot.
I bet they did. You know why? No hot dogs. That's why.
Well, it was the same deal. They let this was in the stadium beside, it was the arena beside BC Place Stadium. They let everybody in, and this was when Axel was at his craziest. He just never showed up. And they said that he got to a point where he was in a plane flying from Seattle to Vancouver, and they just went, he's not showing up. And that's Vancouver, known for rioting, had a riot.
And that's how we put on the upside. That's how we found out who DB Cooper was. Turns out it's been Axl Rose the whole time. 1 in 5 Guns N' Roses gigs, he's like that. Nope. And next thing, he's out the back steps with a bag of cash in it.
How do you hit those notes? Some of those notes, Axl. Falling out of a plane.
Well. You never can tell.
Yeah, if you listen really close, you can just hear a Cessna door sliding open. All right, Axl, you know how to do it. You get the magic going.
And with the tip of his top hat, Slash says goodbye for another tour.
Slash and Otto, the pilot from Airplane, just fly into the sunset.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's a heartwarming tale of how to calm Canadians down.
Free hot dogs, buddy.
Because you can't calm down an English football fan, I can tell you that for nothing. Boy, oh boy. So England lost the Euro final for 2 tournaments in a row. Gareth Southgate has resigned. That's the manager of England. But you know, in all of it, the person I really feel sorry for, somewhere out there's an Albanian lad sitting on a mountain of unsold Victory Parade cocaine.
Yeah. And he's slowly cutting it higher because he doesn't know what to do, and he's getting closer and closer to the roof. He's just like, stop cutting it. It's in my nature. I can't help it.
It just keeps multiplying.
Cocaine dealer. It's what we do.
It's multiplying. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favourite moment of the Euros was have you seen the picture of Luka Modric? You gotta see this thing. Luka Modric, legend of Croatia and Real Madrid, an incredible footballer. Mm-hmm. But they got knocked out by Italy. I want to say they got knocked out by Italy. But he still won the man of the match. and he was given this little trophy, and he's just topless, just this looking incredibly gaunt.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly sad.
Well,
It's like,
I think
no, Luca.
I think this is his last tournament. But it's
Oh,
nice.
if you've seen him, it's his last everything, dude.
Yeah,
He does not
but it's
look well.
it's good for any other players who look like Martina Navratilova, because now somebody else can win the looks most like Martina Navratilova award. He's dominated that field for the last 15 years.
God, he's been the goat of the Martina Navratilova impersonators.
I think that's what he's going into afterwards. check some of that punditry if you're watching Wimbledon on an illegal feed and you're thinking, why Martina Navratilova has an odd accent. It's not. It's not. It's not her.
It's not her. It's Luka Modric. A man who is probably a great deal more famous at this stage than Martina Navratilova.
For the purposes of this joke, no, he's not.
No, he's not.
I was attacked by a fly in the middle of that. I followed it with my eyes. And
We're not
everything.
alone in here. There is also a fly. Well, there you go. Well, hooray for sport.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. And goodbye, Gareth. And I'm on record here. I think England's crazy about this, you know. I don't know what they want out of life, but 2 finals in a row. What are you thinking?
What are you thinking?
You weren't. That's what you're thinking. You weren't thinking anything.
You throw a good thing away.
Yeah. And he's like, you know, they're like, oh, we want an English manager. There is nobody who looks more English than Gareth Southgate.
Oh.
You want to talk about Luka Modric looking like Martina Navratilova. If you asked AI to combine every face in England, it would look like Gareth Southgate.
Yes. AI, generate an Englishman that would bore me at a cousin's barbecue. There you go. There you go. Are you ready for another story, Mr.
Sure.
Mr. Glenn?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a Canadian double header.
Yeah. Brush and lover boy. Back to back. And then the bands fight afterwards. I take Loverboy in it because there's 5 of them. There's only 3 of Rush. But one of them's Neil Peart.
I have absolutely no idea what happened here. Don't know who any of those people were. Now then, there's... Let me start again. This is... Are you... Now then...
That's how much you like that.
No, I liked it. It's staying in. Now then, they discovered, this is a genuine headline from one of your leading newspapers in Canada.
Oh, the Winnipeg Goose?
Sadly, no.
All the news fit the hunk.
It must be really hot in here, but I'm really tickled. No, it's not the Saskatchewan Bugle either. If you hum a story, we'll play it.
Why does my paper come with a Casio keyboard? You gotta play it. You gotta. There's musical notes involved in that too.
All right. Who's ready for a new story from the Great White North? Here we go, guys. This tale is coming from the Maritimes.
Oh, yes.
The damp eastern seaboard of Canada.
The weirdest part of a weird country.
That's saying something. That is saying something.
Right in the weird hole of the weird place.
Right, well, you know what I mean? There might be weird holes all over, but there's always one daddy weird hole.
Yeah.
The king of the weird holes. Anyway, it was the Toronto...
Is Daddy Weird Hole still wrestling?
I want to go back and discuss more about how the Catholic Church getting into wrestling would look like.
That's Daddy Weird Hole. That was his old name.
Monsignor Weird Hole. was his real name.
Yeah.
It's just a ring set up in the middle of St. Peter's Square. Just the baddie throwing holy water in people's eyes.
Defrocker goes home. That was the match. In the cage. Whoever gets defrocked is how it leaves town. Which is... That's actually how they did do business for a while there.
Yeah. This is for the Intercontinental Frock. You win this, you go to the big one. Anyway, so this is a genuine news headline last year from the Toronto Star.
Oh.
If this word salad makes any sense. Dildo man captures phallic iceberg in Conception Bay. All of that. Oh, by the way, do you know the fact-checking organisation online that stops disinformation? They're called Snopes. Mm-hmm. Yes? Snopes reviewed this story and gave it a, yes, it's true.
Yeah.
This is true. What that headline meant, Dildo man captures phallic iceberg in Conception Bay.
Well, what it is, and I can see where the confusion is, that's not a Canadian superhero. That's...
Dildo man!
Yeah. Hey, we're scot-free! Running away from the bank with all the loot in his hands. Oh, we're gonna make it! I wish I'd worn tighter pants and not just my sweats. Dildo man's like, Dildo man, is there anything you can do? Yeah, there is. Let me just get it onto the right setting.
Oh, Dildo man's out there. His light's in the sky.
Dildo man, they made it into the water. They're swimming away. Is there anything? Yeah, it actually works like what? It works like a submarine. Hold on. Guy thought he had a pike up there. No way.
No way.
Dildo man, got him again.
Dildo man and his faithful trusty sidekick, Rubber Fanny.
You gotta hose her down after a long day. I'll tell you that much.
His only superpowers, you can turn him out inside out and put him under the tap.
Sadly, comes in handy a lot.
Dildo man and his arch enemy, the double ender. You know the real danger of double enders, you don't know whether he's coming or going.
Yeah. Duplicitous individual. Two-faced.
That's right. No, the story's even crazier. So it was a genuine iceberg. Mother Nature had allowed an iceberg. You gotta see this iceberger. I mean, it's an absolute whopper.
For some.
It was clearly a virgin as well because friction will melt you.
Yeah.
Giant virgin iceberg one.
Yeah, I was a virgin, but it was definitely springtime.
Is that what you say? Is that your excuse? Everything's starting to thaw.
No, I'm just saying it was standing to attention. You know, it was.
Apologies, that's a good guy. It's very hot in here. I got it now. Spring dude, gotcha. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
You deserve a better comedy partner.
Well, I couldn't find one.
Anyway, so this is
that started out. I was trying to make a nice comment there, but it just sounded like I couldn't find one. It's how you read these things.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
that was a double-ended compliment.
That's. I think the double ender has been unveiled.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so this giant erect ice cock floating along the Canadian coast of Newfoundland, and for added fun, It was first sighted in Dick's Cove.
Yes, it was. And I'm gonna guess at some point, did it come by chance?
No idea. Is that a town called Come by Chance? Is it really?
Oh yeah. It's the weirdest place in a weird country, Andrew.
You're not wrong, because it turns out, ladies and gentlemen of the outside world, there is a bay called Conception Bay.
Oh yes,
yes, there is.
Oh, I get that now. I get it.
Yeah. But the weirdest part of all, and there was a giant ice cock floating past Dick's Cave and found in Conception Bay, because there is an actual town in Canada called Dildo.
That's right.
Must be very proud.
We are. I can just imagine how the locals felt when they were drinking their moonshine, kissing cod, just to look up and go, well, that's weird. What the hell is that? Okay, back to kissing the fish. That's what they do. It's called getting screeched in.
Pardon?
It's the Newfies do it. They drink a moonshine called Screech.
All right.
And they pluck a cod from the sea, a dead one, I believe. But you have to kiss the cod and take a shot of Screech, and then you're a Newfie, or you're an honorary Newfie.
Right.
That was that. Yeah.
Right.
Much people at home, if they've been to Canada, they know what I was talking about.
I think Canada wouldn't have a migration crisis right now if that was just. That was how you got your residency. Houses wouldn't be going through the roof in Vancouver and Toronto.
Yeah, if you had to just live in Newfoundland for a year, and that's where they kept everybody. I don't know.
So, it says here that you're an orthopedic surgeon. Guess Canada could do one of those.
Oh yeah.
Have you kissed a dead fish yet, son?
How bad do you want to be a Canadian, sir? Because we got a lonely cod here. And we hadn't been kissed for, a day?
Yep. This fish is being dragged ashore off the coast of Dildo.
You want to live here for a year? You kiss it, or you fuck it, you can stay forever. How does that sound?
What do you reckon? Do you reckon which came first?
I don't know, the fish, maybe.
Okay, I don't know what question you were answering, but I was talking about which came first. Who got the use of the word dildo first?
Oh,
sex toy makers or an obscure Canadian town?
I don't think it's named after a sex toy. I think it's an Irish term from the 1600s.
I think you'll find it is not. There isn't. Ireland may have towns such as Muff, but what it does not have is towns named after sex toys.
Well, maybe that's why they had to move to Canada.
Big on with you. And the entire community of sex toy fashioners.
Yeah, they all floated there on penis logs.
Just rolled.
They burrowed all the way from Ireland on their massive dildos, and then they met up with a big dick iceberg, and they all crawled on it like penguins. They showed up.
Good day.
Yeah.
Obviously, we made the world's largest floatable vibrator. All the lads in the town were involved. But obviously this was before electricity, so it was a coal-fired dildo.
Yeah.
Got a lot of smoke out the back.
All I'm thinking is with this iceberg, that is exactly the same flow that the Titanic would have been going through. Yeah. And we may have explained why the Titanic
was so fucked.
Yeah. And why they felt the need to hit it, because they were trying to save the women's dignity.
Good Lord. There's a phallus on the starboard, sir.
There's a giant iceberg, Captain. Not that big. I'll crash through it with my ship and my massive cock. Huh? I don't you look at this? And the fiddlers played. So did the captain.
Somebody stay on deck. Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, man.
There you go. So
Well, we salute you,
Yes.
giant ice dick.
yes. And Dildo Man, for the love of God, we need you more than ever before. Surely you, as you look down on
Why
Gotham
don't
City,
you answer the buzz?
can't you see that people are very frustrated? Dildo Man, for the love of God, come out of retirement and take the edge off these business women. Well, there you go. Well,
At least come down and mix us some drinks. You can use it for that too. You don't have to just. There's a lot of things you can use it for.
yeah. But not for the first time. We thank Canada for being the antidote to all things American and insane.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Canada.
That's how you act weird, America. You do it Canadian style. When no one gets hurt. They just go down to the shore and look at the big dick float by. They don't.
That's right.
You finish that joke.
Oh, God damn it. You're all comedy
Yeah, I
fans.
can't.
You're working out.
I'm hungry. It's hot in here. I don't have time for your punchlines. You write them at home. You write them in. We're reachable on Twitter or whatever the fuck it's called now. You finish it yourself.
Wow. You Canadians get irascible when it gets over 12 degrees.
Yeah, it
don't you?
is. Yeah. This is like dog years for me. Goddamn Canadian and the hottest box of Canadians ever known. This is called the Canadian sauna.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Another quality episode.
Thank you very much for joining us on this week's Eejits of the World.
Eejits of the world.
Please, what we're saying to you is less political violence, more giant floating cocks.
And a hot dog.
And a hot dog. If the giant icy cock doesn't tickle your fancy, there's a hot dog on the way.
Or you could go watch Lionel Messi sit on the bench in a Miami jumpsuit, tracksuit.
Sure, why not? What a weird week.
Yeah.
Anyway,
How could you not like it?
well, we've come to the end once again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining in. Like and subscribe and all
That's
that.
how you do it. You like it, you subscribe it.
Subscribe it, like it, turn your notifications on. Please tell your friends. Word of mouth is actually the real deal.
Yeah.
It really is.
Shout it out at cars and people.
Please, yeah. Just scream from hilltops. We are going to be doing a couple of live shows very soon.
Yeah, we're going to do Dead Meat on July 27th up in Manchester.
That's right. And then we will also be at the Cheerful, Earful Comedy Podcast Festival the 20th of October in London. It has been a Pod People production. All right. Pod People.
In collaboration with